We're good. Wonderful. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. Good morning. I just want to take this opportunity to call the meeting to order. And we will start with our land acknowledgement, please.
So we would like to acknowledge that the Capital Region is located on Treaty 1 territory, the ancestral lands of the Innu, Anishinaabe, Anishinaabe, Dene, Dakota, Lakota, and Nakota, and is the homeland of the Red River Métis. We also acknowledge Shoal Lake 40, Treaty 3 territory, sources water to the city of Winnipeg. We are committed to working in collaboration and partnership with First Nations and the Red River Métis in the spirit of truth and reconciliation.
Thank you. All right. Before I ask for approval of the agenda, I have had a new business item come to bear. So when we're approving the agenda, I just want to know if it is the board's wish to include this agenda item. So what's being proposed for new business is be it resolved, whereas the partnership of the Delmer, did you want to read it, or did you?
Sure, I can read it if you want.
Okay.
It's up to
It was
you.
your request, so.
So I've got it be resolved that whereas the partnership of the Manitoba Capital Region was originally founded in 1999, and whereas the Capital Planning Region, CPR, was established in 2021, and whereas the Capital Planning Region was formally established under the Manitoba government in 2023, and is a separate corporate planning entity that operates under the name of Winnipeg Metropolitan Region, and whereas a result of these name changes and overlaps, it has continued through the years to cause confusion, concern, and apprehension from the residents of member municipalities and the public. Excuse me. Therefore, be resolved, the CPR/WMR board move forward to ensure that the name Capital Planning Region, or CPR, be the sole name used in any and all future communications, discussions, documents, and or public releases.
Okay. So when I call for the approval of the agenda, I would just like to know that whoever would make such a motion would indicate if they just want the agenda as presented or the agenda with the inclusion, and then I can ask for a second based on that. So are you prepared to make the motion then for the agenda with your addition?
Sure, if that's
okay. Do I have a seconder for the agenda with that? Okay. Shane, questions? No. Okay, none being heard. All in favor? Okay, wonderful. So then that was for the approval of the agenda with the addition. So thank you for that. We then have minutes of previous meetings, and we can do one motion to accept them together. Yeah. Minutes of regular meeting of April 16th and minutes of regular meeting of April 27th. Motion, please. Shane, thank you. Seconder, Ken, thank you. Questions? None being heard. All in favor? And that's unanimous and carried. Approval of consent agenda. There was no consent agenda for this one. Board chair remarks. Reiterated this at our last meeting. Just want to say again to those that might be watching this either live with us or after the fact, that the goal of this board is to present a plan to the Minister of Municipal Relations by the 1st of January. Most of our efforts, pretty much all of our efforts, are going into making this plan happen. We hope to be able to have this plan to the public. Our goal is by the end of June for a public hearing to be held in the fall. We would welcome all the feedback through that process, which is the provincial process, so that we can present this to the minister for the 1st of January. So that's kind of where we're going. We might have a few extra meetings where we're working with the plan kind of in a workshop style. They won't be official board meetings, but that's what our sole focus is right now, is to get this plan to the minister. Operations and governance update. Was there something you wish to bring to bear, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you. I just have a few brief updates on operations and governance. So starting with provincial appointees. So Chief Blue Sky's term will be coming to an end at the close of this month. So the province is currently working in the process of determining the appointment going forward. And I'll be sure to keep the board updated as we hear more. Secondly, in terms of the Capital Planning Region member municipalities regulation, there was an update on May 12th. So municipalities that had requested withdrawal have now formally been released. So that process has been completed. And also provide you a quick update on the executive director search. We've received several proposals from recruitment firms and have begun reviewing those with the search committee. That work is ongoing, and I'll continue to bring updates forward as things progress there. as well as it relates to the office space. We discussed that last meeting. So you know that our lease renewal is coming up, so we've started planning for that. So we've engaged a commercial realtor and have begun looking at potential options while also opening the discussion up with our current landlord on a possible renewal of our lease. And again, I'll expect to have more to update you on that shortly. And then finally, on the regional plan, you'll see that there is a attachment on the regional plan progress report that we typically provide you. So we continue moving this into the next phase of the process. The next stage will include engagement with member municipalities, the province, and the public. So you'll start to see formal notices issued in line with the legislative requirements. With that, I'll pass it back to you.
Any questions? Okay. I don't think there's any formal adoption that's required there, so thank you for that update. So we had, that was part of the capital planning region municipality regulation. Okay. Update on executive director, lease, regional plan progress. Wonderful. So then business arising from the previous board meeting.
I mostly addressed that in the operations report.
Okay. So then that takes us right to new business. So again, there was a request that it has to do regarding the name. Branding and websites are still showing Winnipeg Metro Region, but as of 2023, as per Delmer, and we all know it's Capital Planning Region. So I guess there is a formal motion that's been here. So what I'll do is I'll ask if you're prepared to make that motion, I'll ask for a second, and then we can have any discussion or ask any questions on that. So are you prepared to move?
Yes, I'm prepared to move the motion as presented.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder then for that? Okay, Ken, thank you. Questions?
Yeah, I'm not sure what the implications of a name change would be. Like, do we have a lot of cost associated with that, or do we know?
Yeah, just preliminarily, I'd have to, kind of provide you a better explanation. But from a high level, yes, there would be a significant administrative cost. This requires, changes as our legal entity, so CRA, all types of things like that. So that would be an administrative time consumption cost as well as an actual cost. There's a whole marketing strategy that has to go along with that. We need a brand change. We need, all of those types of things that are associated with that. The name was changed originally to the Winnipeg Metro Region, I believe in 2018, to reflect the trend that regional entities are focused on their core city that they service, in more of it's kind of a marketing strategy to enable people to understand where you are geographically, I should say. So that was the purpose then. I do appreciate the confusion. It's something we constantly face in terms of explaining who we are. So it is something that we've been thinking from an administrative perspective to change, but I do think it will have to be phased and taken in a way that's, the legalities of it all, as well as the marketing of it all and the administrative costs of it all.
Okay, thank
Can I
you.
ask another question?
Yeah.
Just like, is it possible, and then this administrative question, I guess, is it possible to just change the primary use of, like, stop using Winnipeg Metropolitan Region as the primary name, or is that
I think it'd be preemptive
I'm just
without
trying to
going
think.
through all the steps.
okay?
That being said, though, that could be a discussion we have as to, we want to move that way. Let's put, the motion forward to start that work. And then it could be a phased approach, and I could write out the steps of, these are the legalities that we need to look at, the administrative costs, the marketing, like there's a whole plan that needs to go with that. It's not just one-shot deal today. Yeah.
Can you have them listed together in any way? That
We do
I'm
that?
thinking of that. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, so we do that. Our LinkedIn, you can see it there, but it is a constant source of confusion, yes.
Yes, I agree.
And it continues to be. I mean,
Yeah.
it has been for going through the whole process, and it's not going away. It's something that the public is questioning. So what Winnipeg Metropolitan and Capital Region, so as soon as you mention, you go in rural Manitoba and the surrounding municipalities, and you present the Winnipeg Metropolitan Region right away. There's rightly or wrongly, there's a board that goes up, a blank that goes up that says, "Wow, we don't want to." And I noticed in our postings and that, there seems to be a lot, who are you, which one are you? Well, I think for myself, since I've been here for like way back, it's always been, well, it was a partnership of the capital planning region, I think years and years ago. And it kind of morphed into other things, but now we seem to have gotten away from that and are concentrating on the headline in Winnipeg. The question is, I guess, you talk about the cost, but what would happen then if Winnipeg pulled out? Would we still have, would that automatically end the capital planning region or the metropolitan region? If not, then we would have to do a name change anyway. So I think for the sake of rural areas and people that are connected to that, I think the capital planning region encompasses what we're looking for without having to identify one single component as being the major.
So not to split hairs here, and I'll ask for board direction here, but the motion says to ensure that the name capital planning would be the sole name used in any and all future communications, discussions, documents, and public releases. So whether from a financial or technical point of view, that it's still operating as the Winnipeg Metro region for purpose of bank accounts and all this kind of thing. It's more so what I'm seeing here is in the communication. So I don't know how that would relate to website and logo and ownership and patents and all that kind of thing. But if what we're doing is communicating it out, whether it's a header on a letter, if that's a possible communication change, then there might not be the cost, which then could maybe be this could be a step in getting there. We could get some feedback back from yourself on if we were to do a full throttle, like with phase one would be just when we're communicating.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just throwing that out there as a suggestion. Yes.
Just a question, I mean, maybe for Delmar a bit, I mean, could we have the resolution that we ask administration to study it and get back to us with the costs and the implications of the proposal? Like, I mean, and steps that could be followed. I mean, I don't disagree with Delmar's point of view. I'm just saying, I don't know what it all entails and what, and I was just wondering if it would be okay to amend the resolution to just ask administration with that direction to come back to us at the next meeting or whenever it's appropriate with, kind of a plan as to how we could move in that direction, costs, implications, and whatever,
I'm gonna weigh in here a little bit in that Natalie mentioned something with time, and being that we're trying to achieve a deadline of the end of June with getting this plan to the public, and being that they're already working hours that they're working, I'm wondering if the request is the board open to giving some latitude to staff to not necessarily have this ready for the next meeting,
or whatever.
but that for a future meeting.
Yeah, for me, I don't care about I mean, I'm not suggesting it has to be next
No,
meeting.
because
I guess my concern is I don't have enough understanding as to what the implications would be. I don't disagree with the concept. I'm just trying to figure out how much work, effort, cost would be associated with doing it, or if there's other options to maybe do it as a preferred name, or I don't know what, implications like that. So that's be my question.
Okay, I'm seeing, thank you, Krista, I'm just reading, I like the cost of the change to come back to the board, okay.
I have one more.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So, what does it look like as far as the plan goes when we change the name?
I don't think that would be a overly big change. It'd probably be a minor thing. That the
No,
province-
but how does it look to the people out there?
We could limit the
I'm
branding.
just asking, I'm just wondering if people would think that there's something up here, which there isn't, it's just that we're trying to clarify it, but when is a good time to change it?
Yeah, so
That
in
would
the,
be my question.
in the plan, we mostly go by the capital planning region because that is our
Official
name
name.
in the planning act. So we're trying to emphasize that as well. I do appreciate the comment you've said about, letter headers and the IP, all of that stuff needs to be considered, and there is a cost associated with that. So there is a large administrative research component that needs to be looked at to see how is this feasible, what are the phases, because there are different naming ways we can go about the name as well. So we've done some thinking about this, so we'd be appreciative of having an opportunity to show you that. And then give us some time to also go and dig into this a little bit more in terms of all the legalities, because just going through the signing authority process, it's an extremely long process. And to change our legal name will be a big burden,
That's my point.
but not one that's not worth
My
it.
point.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
It might be a.
Well, that would be, I guess, I know there's a cost, like, I understand there's a cost, but I think that, like you said, once we investigate the cost, I don't think we should let cost be the determining factor. I think we should let the branding be the determining factor. And I think based on my history and that there seemed to be a change in public perception when we started to all of a sudden use the name WMR. I never agreed with that to begin with. And if you go back in our history, you'll see that that's where some of the confusion started to happen. And some of the rural people were, of course, there's issues with naming it Winnipeg and people associating in that area. Not that Winnipeg's our capital. It's a great place, but as well, I think we have to include the whole capital region when we look at that. So I don't think we should look at the cost necessarily as being the deciding factor, but I do agree that when I put in here the resolve that the board move forward, I don't mind adjusting that to accommodate, some time. I didn't expect it to be overnight, but I just wanted us to be working towards that angle where we could try and clean up some of this. I know we got lots of other things to do, but if we could try and work this in somehow to clear it up, I think it would be better received by perhaps the remaining outlying communities.
As the mover of the motion, I'm hearing that there's an amendment that's being requested. So I'm going to ask you as the mover of the motion to study and present steps. The amendment would be to study and present steps to the board. We can just leave it there, understanding that then it will be presented to the board when they're able.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
might be at the next meeting. It might be at a different meeting. Are you?
Yes, I am. I am in agreement with that. Absolutely. If somebody wants to move that,
Okay.
absolutely.
So, be the sole name used in any and all future communication, discussions, documents, and or public releases, and that executive director is asked to study the request and present steps to the board as soon as possible.
So could we just?
Yeah.
Therefore be it resolved that the CPR WMR board move forward to study and present the steps to the board to change the name to this, kind of just move forward part, get it out, and direct staff too. Yep.
Okay, so just so we know what I'm asking for the presenter of the motion to amend to, you kind of just want to, yes?
Read it one more time.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to ask. I wanted that clear for everyone, yes. Yes.
Therefore be it resolved that the CPR WMR board directs staff to study and present the steps that would enable the name change of the capital planning region to be the sole name used in any and all future communication, discussion, documents, or public release.
And we can read it another time if it's clear. So to the mover, are you okay with that amendment?
Yes, I'm okay with that amendment.
To the seconder of that motion, do you second based on the amendment?
Yes, I do.
Okay, are there any questions or comments then about the motion as amended? Okay, if I'm hearing none, then I will call for the question. All in favor of the motion as amended and presented? Okay, and that is unanimous and carried. Thank you. I see online as well, so that's unanimous and carried. Appreciate that. Thank you for taking the time to do that, Delmer. So that was new business. I believe then that takes us to the end of this part of of the official board meeting. So I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Thank you, Shane. Thank you, Delmer. All in favor? That was unanimous and carried. Appreciate it.